Diesel prices have hit $5 a gallon again, up 33% since the start of the Iran war. According to the AAA Motor Club, the average national price for diesel stood at $5.01 a gallon on Thursday, which is 7 cents higher than the day before. This marks the second time this year that diesel has crossed the $5 threshold. The first occurred in March, when prices reached their highest level since the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022. After that spike, prices fell back below $5 in June following an announcement that Iran and the United States had signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at easing tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway for global oil shipments. However, the situation has shifted. Renewed strikes between the United States and Iran in the Strait have slowed shipping almost to a halt. On Monday, President Donald Trump said he would reinstate a naval blockade on Iranian ports and suggested that Persian Gulf states could invest in the United States in exchange for military protection while their vessels transit the strait. These geopolitical tensions have contributed to tighter fuel supplies. The pressure on diesel is amplified by a squeeze on refinery capacity worldwide. Many refineries that convert crude oil into fuel have either shut down or are operating at reduced levels. The International Energy Agency reports that global refineries are processing roughly 4% less oil than they were a year ago. This decline is especially pronounced in Russia, where refineries have suffered extensive damage from Ukrainian drone attacks. As a result, Russia, normally one of the world's top diesel exporters, banned overseas sales of the fuel in early July to preserve domestic stocks, a restriction that remains in place through July 31st. While the United States does not import diesel from Russia, the loss of those exports has further tightened the global market. China has also cut back on refinery runs, citing weaker domestic demand and high crude oil prices, and it has curtailed fuel exports for the past 4 months to shore up its own supplies. Together, these factors have widened the gap between current fuel prices and their pre-war levels. For diesel, that gap is notably larger than for crude oil itself. The AAA notes that the average national gasoline price was $3.94 a gallon on Thursday, up 32% since the war began, while Brent crude hovered near $85 a barrel. Analysts warn that because diesel powers industrial machinery, commercial transport, and electricity generation, its price fluctuations can ripple through the broader economy. Higher diesel costs raise expenses for trucking, manufacturing, and power plants, potentially feeding into inflationary pressures elsewhere. With refinery output still below normal and geopolitical risks persisting in the Persian Gulf, analysts expect diesel prices to remain volatile in the coming weeks. That's a look at why diesel is back above $5 a gallon and what's driving the increase. Thanks for listening.